The Canadian stock market has been outperforming the US stock market for almost 2 years now. If we compare the S&P 500, which represents the US stock market, and the S&P TSX Composite, which represents the Canadian stock market, we can clearly see that Canada has been having a stronger run in the last 12 months. If we zoom into parts of 2025, the TSX outperformed the S&P 500 over certain periods. It's helped by Canadian financials, energy, materials, gold, and other sectors that play a major role in the Canadian economy. So as an investor who lives in Canada, this is definitely something I'm paying attention to. In Canada, the S&P TSX Composite Index is the benchmark stock market index representing roughly 70% of the total market cap on the Toronto Stock Exchange. The TSX is led by the big 6 Canadian banks, energy companies, utilities, telecoms, and dividend stocks that can play a very important role in our portfolio. Welcome to another step-by-step Joyee Yang video where I share my investing experiences as someone who is self-taught. In this video, I'm sharing everything I learned and the actions I've taken that helped me diversify my portfolio and gain exposure to Canadian stocks. I am hopeful that you'll find my experience and the lessons shared helpful. So get your notebook ready, hit the like button, and let's get started. And let's start by going over 4 topics. 1, an important mindset about investing, what investing actually is, why it works over time, and the mindset many long-term investors follow. 2, investment options available to investors just starting out. I'll explain what an ETF is and why I personally use ETFs for long-term investing. 3, an option for investing in Canada's strongest companies using an ETF. We'll talk about the Canadian market, why Canada has performed relatively well recently, and how beginners may want to gain exposure to Canadian companies such as Shopify, TD, TELUS, without picking individual stocks. And number 4, the process behind setting up a TFSA. This is the account I started investing with. If I were to start all over again, setting up my TFSA would still be one of the most important fundamental steps for me. Then I'll also cover investing apps and brokers that I found straightforward and have low fees and offer a more stress-free process. So if you are ready, let's start with the first thing we need to understand. What investing actually is. Many people treat the stock market like a casino because of greed, fear of missing out, and lack of knowledge. That's the harsh reality. They think investing means buying the best stock, hoping it goes up quickly, and selling it to make a profit. Investing is based on one's goals. It can be oriented for the short term, medium, or long term, with a person's investments designed to meet those goals. When you buy a stock, you're buying a small piece of a real company. Banks, energy companies, technology companies, telecoms, grocery stores, railways, or utilities. We can always begin with the matured companies that people use every single day. There are talented, experienced managers and institutional investors behind these large companies, so you are joining many capable stakeholders to help ensure continuous growth and long-term sustainability. That is how your money starts working for you. But before you invest, you need to understand your investing goal. Not every investment does the same job. I want to share my 3 main investing goals from my early beginner days that you may find useful. The first goal is growth. Growth means you want your investment value to go up over time. This is also called capital gains. So for example, you buy something at $100 and many years later it becomes $150. That $50 increase is your capital gain. This is usually the main goal for younger investors or anyone who wants to build wealth over the long term. The second goal is income. Income means your investment pays you while you hold it. This is my favorite investing goal because I love passive income. And this is an important goal particularly for young investors like me or anyone whose focus is to build wealth over the long term. Dividends are cash payments that companies share with their shareholders. So instead of only waiting for your investment to grow in price, you are also getting paid along the way. The third goal is diversification. Diversification means spreading out your money. Instead of putting all of your money into one company or one industry or one country, you spread it across different assets. If one company or one sector is not doing well, your entire portfolio isn't depending on that one thing. So when I'm investing, I constantly think about these 3 things: growth, income, diversification. To me, the best investing portfolio usually has a balance of all 3. The mindset I want to share with you is this. As an investor, look to buy good assets and actually let your money work for you while you are working your 9 to 5, running your businesses, or sleeping. Don't turn investing into an addiction of checking your stocks every minute, making yourself feel anxious, or somehow always missing out. The worst that you can do is to panic sell because of what you see on social media and news headlines. That's the most common beginner mistake. mistake, and it all goes back to not having a clear understanding of what their investing goals are. So with that, I hope you write down your personal investing goal. Now pay attention because we are going into one of the best investing tools that has helped me, which is ETFs. What is an ETF? Okay, quick investing 101. ETF stands for Exchange Traded Fund. It sounds like a very technical term, but let me break it down for you. An ETF is a basket. Inside this basket, there can be stocks, bonds, treasury bills, or even other ETFs. So instead of buying just one company, you are buying a fund that already holds many different assets inside. This is why ETFs have always been my favorite investing instrument, because we don't need to sit there and pick the perfect stock. We don't need to guess if one stock will perform better than another stock, or which stock to buy more and which one to buy less of. With an ETF, we can buy one basket and get exposure to many companies all at once and let the ETF managers do the heavy lifting for us, because a good ETF will keep up with the markets and rebalance the holdings to stick to the objectives of the ETF. Most ETFs are built for diversification, meaning that they help investors spread their money across multiple assets. For example, the most popular ETF is the SPDR S&P 500 ETF Trust, which tracks the 500 largest companies in the US. When you buy one share of this ETF, you are instantly invested in all 500 companies. There are also ETFs that focus on income generation, holding high dividend stocks, or running high income option strategies. You get paid regularly in the form of distributions for holding this type of ETF. And by picking the right investment, you can enjoy both long-term growth and regular income. I've made my life easier by learning to invest with ETFs. So if I were to start investing all over again, I'd start there. If you're following my explanation so far, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Before you buy any ETF, always ask this question: what are the underlying holdings? Which translates to what's inside the basket. Because not all ETFs are the same. Some ETFs are very diversified, some ETFs are very concentrated, some are designed for long-term growth, some are designed to pay monthly income. So please don't just buy an ETF because someone online said a ticker symbol. Always understand the purpose of the ETF first, its mandate, investment objectives, and risk profile, and what's inside the ETF. Okay guys, are you ready for this? I'm going to share my screen with you and show you how I research an ETF, what I must check on the ETF page so that you can take action yourself using a simple ETF checklist. The first thing I do is I want to understand the objective of this ETF. So HHIC is a multi-sector portfolio holding established and trending Canadian companies that are positioned for strong growth. That means growth of Canadian stocks. Looking at the advantages of this ETF, it also mentions diversified exposure to top Canadian companies and high monthly income. So growth, income, and diversification are the three investing goals we went over earlier in this video. Now let's look at exactly what's inside this basket. An ETF should always show you clearly what it's holding. So inside HHIC, I like how every company seems relatively balanced. We have two of the big six banks as the leading positions. Canadian banks are known to generate consistent dividends, like 50 plus years. And then we have growth leader in mining and Shopify, which is the e-commerce giant in Canada, followed by the household utility names. We can also fact check the income generation part. When I look at the distribution history, I would like to see that the amount is consistent or growing over time, and the payments should be on schedule without any missed months. Remember at the beginning of this video, I shared that the Canadian stock market has been outperforming the US stock market recently. What you have just learned is that instead of chasing the hype, we can choose an ETF that focuses on the high growth Canadian companies. Let me introduce you to Harvest Canadian High Income Shares ETF, HHIC. This section of the video is sponsored by Harvest ETFs, a Canadian provider of investment solutions known for their high income and diversified ETFs. I've been looking for relatively diversified Canadian stocks ETFs, so let's do our research together and fact check if this ETF is actually a good investment for my goals. This ETF might be an option for investors who prioritize income investing by allocating a portion of their money into the Canadian stock market without picking individual stocks. Here's a checklist for you to screenshot to do your own due diligence. And this works with any ETF. Look at the overview of the ETF. What does it do? Look at the underlying holdings. What stocks are in this ETF? Look at the fun facts. How is the ETF constructed? How's the distribution history? Is it consistent? Has it been growing over the past few years? You can check using the 5-year chart. And bonus, check the MER of the ETF. MER stands for management expense ratio, which is basically how much you're paying the portfolio manager to manage the ETF. ETFs that just track an index should have a low MER. There's not much to do, they're just tracking an index. Less than 0.25% would be considered low. Now for more advanced management, like writing covered calls and ETFs that generate income, the managers need to do more. So if you see MERs around 0.5, that's pretty standard. Thank you Harvest ETFs for sponsoring this ETF section of the video. I hope the example I used in this tutorial motivates you to learn more about ETFs and find yourself the best ETFs for your investing goals. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward to do your due diligence before buying any ETFs. I also have a more advanced, in-depth version of how to read ETFs. You can comment the word ETF below and I'll send the video to you. Setting up your best tax-free investing account in Canada. You guys have made it to the last step in our beginner investing action plan, setting up your TFSA. TFSA stands for tax-free savings account, but it really should be called tax-free investing account. If you watch Joyee Yang's videos, please don't make this rookie mistake. Do not treat the TFSA like a normal savings account. It's not for you to deposit your cash and do nothing with it. You won't make anything out of it at all if you only leave cash in your TFSA. Inside a TFSA, you can hold investments like stocks and ETFs, and the biggest benefit is that your investment growth can be tax-free. Let's say you buy an ETF at $1,000 and then 2 years later it grows to $1,500. That $500 capital gain is completely tax-free inside your TFSA. And if your ETF pays dividends or distributions, those payments can also grow inside the account without you paying tax every year, as long as you follow the TFSA rules. It is important to remember that the TFSA can't be treated as a day trading account. Otherwise, you will get flagged by the CRA, so check out their website and understand the rules. The most important rule is to check your TFSA contribution limit. TFSA is the #1 account most Canadian beginners focus on first because it is a flexible and beginner-friendly account for tax-free growth. I will point you guys to a detailed tutorial on the TFSA at the end of this video where I explained how to track your contribution room and what happens if you withdraw cash from your TFSA. So if one day you need the money for something important like buying a home, starting a business, paying for school, or any big life expense, you can withdraw from your TFSA without paying taxes on the withdrawals. Where do you open a TFSA account? I personally use Wealthsimple and Moomoo investing app. These are the modern day brokerages that offer way better user experience and super low fees, unlike the old traditional banks. For the investing apps and brokerages I personally use, I'll list them in the description below. You can also use my sign up links if you want to receive any extra bonuses and rewards that are available. Your next action is important. Go ahead and click this video to finish the complete step-by-step walkthrough of how to set up your TFSA, find out your contribution limit, and automate your ETF investments. See you in the next video!